Audio Jungle.
Now I kindly request Dr. V. Mohan to welcome the gathering.
Special event. It's been 10 years, doesn't look like that, it's passed so quickly. Since we started this collaboration between the Madras Diabetes Research Foundation, University at Melbourne in Australia, and it's my great pleasure to invite three of the guests who are on the dais: Professor Catherine Aston-Mornay, Professor Stefan Ushusha, and Dr. Lenny Rivera, along with Ms. Gayatri Vedanarayan, who represents them Deakin in India. We also have online, and he'll join us in a moment, in a few moments, Professor David Austin, who is the Associate Dean, International Faculty of Health. Actually, Professor David Austin and Professor Catherine Bennett, who is also Professor and Chair in Epidemiology and Faculty of Health, are also part of the team. Unfortunately, they've caught a virus, and so they are not coming. Fields, and some of them are already make a brief presentation about what we have done during the last 10 years. So if I can have the they have offer a very unique program. It's almost unbelievable that it's been our dream that our students working here at MDRF in Chennai can get a PhD from Australia, from one of the top universities in Australia. Many of our students have wanted to do PhD abroad, but the problem is that it's so expensive that only the creme de la creme, the richest people, can actually afford to pay the lakhs of rupees which are needed per year as fees to do their PhD, which meant that Indian students normally don't go to UK or Australia or US to do a PhD unless they're fully supported, and that kind of support is not easy to get. But Deakin was one of the first universities actually to come to India, and they were very forward thinking. So they came up with a scheme whereby they had put away a fund for Indian students, not just in MDRF but in other collaborating institutions in India with whom they work, whereby the students can do their PhD in the host institution with supervisors from Deakin in Melbourne, and they have frequent contacts with them through Zoom and other things. So every month almost they are in touch. It's a very rigorous program, by the way. You have to go through a certificate of confirmation, the COC we call it, and then only the student can actually write the theses. And I'm very happy to say that we are one of the institutions with whom this collaboration has really picked up and become quite popular. And this later led on to another program which I will talk about. So from this research, and so you may say, so what's in it for Australia? They are also collaborating in our research. So apart from the PhD that they give, the students publish papers which I'll show you, which is all done jointly. So it helps them to understand more about the problems of a developing country like India, and we get the benefit of the knowledge and the advice of the supervisors in Australia. So it's worked out beautifully, the partnership. And the idea is to also apply for some further research funding and so on. 6 months is also, so you may say to the students, go to Australia. So that is actually given usually during the last year of their PhD, when it's not compulsory, but Deakin offers, as part of the scholarship, a fund for students to go and spend between 3 to 6 months in Australia with the supervisors. So during that time, they can learn new techniques, learn statistical analysis, and many of the students use that opportunity to write their theses, because by that time they would have collected most of the data, and they are getting ready to submit their theses. And then they, with the help of the supervisors there and statistical help, the library facilities and everything. So this has been a wonderful journey for the last 10 years, and many students have already completed, as I will show you. Supervisors from Deakin. So we had Professor David Austin, who will join us shortly through Zoom. Then we had Professor Stephen Allender. Then we had Professor Jan Gilbert, Professor Antonina, Professor David Meller, who has since retired. In fact, it was Professor Meller who first came and started the program with us. And then we have Professor Catherine here. Then we have Professor Anna Tempero and Professor Joe Salmon. So these are 8 of the Australian professors in various fields advising our students. And we have some more. We have Professor Vincent Versailles Martin, Professor Joanne Williams, Professor Jenny Veitch, Professor Kevin McNamara, Professor Catherine Bennett, who has also come to India, and Professor David Dunstan, who has recently will be joined in the group, and he'll be also looking after one of our students. So you can see it's fairly large project, and I'm very, very grateful to them. Please give them a round of applause. Purely voluntary work that they are doing, but this has meant so much for our students and helped to take the science forward. From 6 people who are recognized guides, apart from Dr. Anjana and myself, we have Dr. Balasubramanian, Dr. Guha Pradeepa, Dr. Anjani Harish, and Dr. Radha Venkateshan, who's here, a genomics expert. So these are some of the students who have either completed or are presently doing. One of our first students was Dr. Abhishamala Kingsley, and this was a research project. Very interesting that she worked on the built environment and how, if you have walkable areas, how it affects obesity rate, health can be used to reach people. And she has found, we call it as MDRF, and it's a lifestyle intervention delivered through mobile phone. She has also been awarded her PhD. Dr. Avinash found the interesting thing. He worked on bisphenols and how they have their endocrine disruptors, and he worked with Dr. Jan Gilbert, and he has also been awarded his PhD. Dr. Aarti Ramasamy is here, and she is a medical doctor who has been working on a monogenic form of diabetes called maturity onset diabetes of the young, and Catherine here is associated with that project, and she is in the last stages of completing her thesis. Hopefully she'll be done quite soon. Hannah Wesley is also here, and she is today your